Hi, Jeff Vaughn here for Safety Knives and Cutters, here to talk to you today about self-retracting blade safety knives. The ones I have selected for you today are used primarily for warehouse applications, cardboard cutting, things like that. Self-retracting blades or automatic safety blades have been around a long time. They started years ago, like this model right here, that has a spring-loaded hood that automatically covers the blade. They afford you some protection, but they're not foolproof. You'll see with my thumb I can expose the blade, and this isn't completely safe, but it is certainly safer than a standard utility knife that somebody might use for cutting a box. You'll notice here the way it's designed to be used is if you push down, the hood, the spring-loaded hood gets out of the way, and you're allowed to make a cut. Now, this particular product, called the Lizard knife, takes off on that same concept. It has a spring-loaded hood, and this one is a little different than the first one I showed you. This is a semi-disposable product. There's no way to change the blade. When the blade's dull, you discard the whole unit. That reduces the risk of cuts from changing blades, which actually happens fairly commonly. It also helps to reduce blade contamination in products or production facilities, especially food service. So this is a good product for that application. Same concept. The hood moves out of the way when you apply pressure, and then the blade is not exposed when you lift away. You can circumvent the safety part of this by pulling it back. So again, it's not foolproof, but it's better than standard safety or standard utility knives. Here's a little bit different model. This is a metal safety cutter, spring-loaded. An important thing to point out about these: they're actuated with a trigger or a lever. You notice my thumb is doing that. But what you'll want to do, and what you want to train employees to do with this particular knife, is to take their thumb away once the blade is in the cardboard, like this, and then as it cuts and it comes away from the cardboard, it automatically retracts. You can, again, this can be circumvented if you don't take your thumb off and you're cutting. This could then injure yourself or somebody else if you don't take your thumb off. So again, there's some training that's required in using knives like this. Take my thumb away, cut. That way, if the knife comes away suddenly, I'm not going to cut myself. So that's the basic idea. And there's various iterations of that type of knife available on the market. Here's a really cool one from a company called Slice. What they've done is they've taken that same concept and they've put it in this unique ergonomic design, and they use a ceramic blade, which has 10 times the lifespan of a steel blade. So here's a ceramic blade box cutter, in fact the first one ever in industry. So pretty unique product, but the same concept applies. When you put the blade in contact with what you're cutting, you should slide your thumb away so that when this comes towards you, it automatically retracts. Same concept. Then Pacific Handy Cutter has done the same thing with one of the staples of their line. This is the S4 safety knife, and it's self-retracting, spring-loaded. Again, the same concept. The thumb needs to be pulled away when cutting so that it'll self-retract. This one has a tray and a carton cutting appendage on the end of it, which is really nice for cutting tops of boxes off. Pretty popular knife. Has good safety features. Now this little yellow guy is the CrewSafe CU safety knife. This knife has actually been around for a number of years and has gone through several design changes, and is really an exceptional knife that we sell quite a few of actually. A little bit different concept. Instead of having a self-retracting blade, it has a hood that self-retracts like these earlier models I showed you. But this one is a little more foolproof. The way it works is it has a lever. When this lever is pushed, you get one release of the hood. So you'll see I'm pushing the lever. Now when I contact the cardboard, it's going to cut, but when I release and try and do another cut, I can't. I have to release the lever. That gives me the opportunity to do a new cut. So I push it again. I'm going to get one release of the hood for cutting, and now I can't until I release and press the trigger again. This is a great design. If somebody's using this and for some reason this comes away from the cardboard, they shouldn't be cutting towards themselves, but if they happen to, they're not going to cut themselves open because the hood has engaged and it protects them from the blade. So great design. This, like the Lizard safety knife, is a semi-disposable product. No need to ever change the blade. You don't have to worry about the risk of somebody fumbling with the blade and cutting themselves. When it's dull, you discard it and you get a new one. And the nice thing is the price point on these is low enough that it's not going to break the bank to have a good safety knife program. The last one I'm going to show you is the Martigo safety knife. This is similar to some of the others in some regards, but it has a little bit different action. There's a locking mechanism you'll see in the handle here that when you depress releases the blade and allows you to, when you pull the trigger, the blade will come out. But check this out. When you get into the cardboard and you start cutting, when you come away, it releases even though you're depressing the trigger. So the blade is gone, not going to hurt yourself, and you have to press this to get a new cut and have the blade come out. So similar concept, a little bit different operation, nicely designed knife. So these are a few examples of some of the self-retracting safety knives that we have available on safetyknivesandcutters.com. Also coolsafetyproducts.com, a couple of great sites where you can purchase these. And we encourage you to take a look at these and consider using them to reduce cuts and injuries in your workplace safety program. Thanks for watching. I'm Safety Jeff. We'll catch you next time.